Hi, my name's David Hodge. I'm here on behalf of Return Serve, and it's such a joy to be able to speak to you regarding the Milton Tennis Centre here at Frew Park, and I hope you're enjoying the Frew Park YouTube channel.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Racer here from Frew Park YouTube channel. And before we talk about Rod Laver, we should pay tribute to Fay's mother, because there is scrapbook after scrapbook of Fay's early playing career. And it's those wonderful scrapbooks where a lot of the memory points are coming from. You know, this particular scrapbook shows Rod Laver, and you actually worked with Rod for a period of time, didn't you?
Yes, I went to work at Dunlop's when I was 16 after high school, and Rod was working there then. And yes, and so we've known each other for a very long time. And I met him again at the River End Book Club in Bulimba when he was down there to do a promotion in December last year.
With his autobiography?
Yeah, no, Paul McNamee.
Oh, that's right, you told me that story,
Yeah.
yes.
But here's the photo that I'm holding up is one where Rod Laver came out to the Hopman Cup, to the Hopman squad, and he was showing us how to do a slice backhand volley. I had forgotten that he came out until I looked at these scrapbooks, but it just shows that he was putting back something into tennis even then.
Yes, he's certainly renowned for it now on giving far more back into tennis than what he probably ever took out of it. Now, you also had the pleasure of being in London in 1969 at his win with the third leg of the second Grand Slam.
Yes, I actually played at Wimbledon from 64 to 72, and I saw him in the final at John Newcombe, which was the third leg of the Grand Slam in 69, and hoped that he would go on to win the US, which in those days was grass, and he played Tony Roach in the final of that, and he'd just become a father when he was playing, so it's magnificent that he could blot that out of his mind and play in the final leg of a Grand Slam.
No doubt all that discipline that he picked up from Harry Hopman.
Yes, I think Harry Hopman liked the way he played because he was aggressive, and he was only the number 5 junior in Australia when a Tasmanian businessman paid for 2 boys to go overseas, and he was selected, and Bob Mark was selected, and he to this day doesn't know why he was selected, but I think they could see in him that those shots would eventually come in, even though he was hitting them hard. So that was the beginning of him going overseas, which I'm sure he was grateful for.
Yeah, well, it's just amazing the way the twists and turns of life pay dividends sometimes.
Yes, on looking through these scrapbooks, which my mother kept religiously, and she lived till she was 95, so when I was cleaning up the house I found them, and along with a lot of other tennis memorabilia, and now they're going to make a museum at the Tennis Queensland, they'll probably prove invaluable to them.
I'm sure they will. And with that, we'll conclude this one and actually come back and talk about some of the items that are actually that you're very kindly donating into the Tennis Museum. Good afternoon and thank you.
It's generally agreed that Rod Laver, the Rockhampton Rocket, is the best tennis player ever. And I would definitely agree with that. And if you wanted to know why he was so good, you only had to look at his left arm. When other tennis players talked about him, they put their hand there to show how big it was. And that was because his whole life he carried a squash ball in his pocket when he walked around. I've lived in a house with him, and he's always squeezing this ball, and he got these huge muscles, and so Ken Fletcher said he could flick them back from anywhere. And the other reason that made him such a champion was that back then Rosewall was said to have the best backhand in the world, and he sliced it heavily, and so he could zoom it there like a dart. And Laver was taught by an old man who lived in a caravan in Rockhampton called Charlie Hollis,